Unno sakkutunga sigutsi Igalaaq kutsalermatillagu Iva Michael yunga. Palisikkut qullurtuumi qiniqtuit sorusimik utingiinersimayimini utingiinersimayoq ippatsani ullaakkun aperisimallutu kikkutuinerni kajortaugamallutu qinertautillagu ilaapani ukiulik Jonas Klangenberg 4 feet nitakinneqartauluni uqumainneqartu 52 pounds ning kayuullutinnu ammalu iyinging Jonas taanaannuqaarsimanneqartaulortu isortaullutik ateusiungayoq usingasinga ammalu isigaujarsimalluni qinnertaa aupartoqartunik CBC-ku uqaqateqalortuit qinertinik uqarsimallutit sikusiutuleqiyikkut aqqaumayiin ammalu akileqsertuaguttu ikajortiit qinertuit kinatuinatukusigiakannerut Ruteqaruni palisikkunu uqaalaquyauyuq saqqiyaartumi taatsimunga naasautimmunt kivallerminunaliit tuniyaasimalermiyuit $100 million ning sapuulutauneqartauyuni legacy fund kivalleq Inuit katutseqatigiinginnun ammallu agniiko uyaarniartuleqiyikkut ningaartunik kiinauika yortaunertu ileqqusaleqinnermu inuusaleqinnermu pilerianguvattuni nunalinni kivallermiut isimaleerussisimaleqeertiut qaanu kiinauyaq atortausugunnermangaaq nuweoqalutaq uqauseqarniartuq
kivalleq Inuit katutseqatigikkut tamaunga kivallermi pulaaqsimalertut unikkaariartorlutik ammaqavititiartorlutik kivallermiunik tamanna legacy fund sapuulutaq kiinauyaq katersortauginnartoq kiaikkunnut taanna kiinauyaq katersortauju atuuteqatsiarnaaqasugiyoq tamaunga nunalignun Mary Boise kanayoq tekanga tikiaartuarmit uqalaortu tamannago angunasukpingmu iqallaavimullu aqqutiga aaqiktaunnayarpa piugajartu assingillu
aqutiumiksaanu aaqigiaaqutiksaami piyumai pequyiyoq takpikunga akormut akuunaqaraptigu takpinnaku iqaluppeqartoq takpikunga aaqigia utiksami oqartoqalaorluni
kivalleq Inuit katutseqatigikku arbaanitillugit taanna luuksuluk katemajartoqataulorman uqalaortorli tamakkua piqqusitoqait amma Inuit piqqusingit aaqisortautsiaqullugi tamakkununga toqqortautsiarlitiklu makkuktunut ilinniaqutaunearmata
tamanna yummagiluagaartauarviami peqqusillerini tamakkua tarnitillerini maanna kanayahaaluarmata Pilerik-siksikanatuulluarmata pilerikkanattuulluarnga iyukmat qaulihaangamut tanitaqarviaqalungni tamaani pitaqaraluarpa tanitaqarvingmi National Historic Site arviaqaningani
amma qamanittuarmiitillugit taanna Martin qilak katemajartoqataulorami uqalaortu tamakkua angunasukpaktut ungasiktuliartu takpanga qamanittuarmi tamaunga taqiormut akituyualuulermat namungoonasukluni maqainnasukluni angunasugasukluni tamaunga tariormiu tannun kisiani Martin oqartoq tamakkua ikajortaugiaqaqasugiblunigin
tamakkununga angunasuktinut kiinauyanit angunasukti taama tamaangat qamanittuarmi unungaaluk tariuliarniarmiyut uvangatuungit ingiqalluarnartoruungmat tamanna qamanittuarmit taununga tariormut nauyaanu taavunga qanualuki aktiirluartualungmit kiinauyani atorniarmiyut taama tamaangat tariuliaqqaniarmiyut tariuliasuuraaluulerma tamakkuktut
kivalleq Inuit katutseqatigikkungi tamaanittu kangerlanermi July 25, 2024 inugnut qavititiartorlutik qanuq tamanna kiinauyaq saqqipalliammangaan ammalu qanuq aaqqipallianaarmangaa amma atuutiksanganun bailaangalu asijeriaqarninga atingalu amma tamakkua qanuq kiinauyait aaqqiktauvallianaarmangaata atuinnaortoq tauvallialutik taakkua kivalleq Inuit katutseqatigikkut pulaqakkanilaarmatigu kieksaaq tukisimmaqigiartorlugitik tamatsuminga kiinauyaqtaana $150 million qanigiyaaniittoq namut atuutiqaruni ikayuutiqarayarmangaan nuwaoqalutsaq CBC pivalliayut kangerlanermi
haamlagayauyu ippiayummi tusartitsigumayu nunalinmiutanik tamanna Jordan's principle pileriaqiyauvattoq pijjutigillugu atornilertau quyigattikiinauyanik illumi qatigiittui in qitonqaqartui inunnik tuni yaavammata $500 nik atuni surusimo taqqitama ammalo amisorugiakkanertutit ukioqarutik qitungalqarutik ukiulinni pingassunik ippiayummi tamanna kiinaujaq atukta niuviuti gunnaqattaqaluanga niqitsiavannu kisiani haamlakku aulatsiimmaqigiyangaan uqartu ilangitnamakku amalitsangimmata atuagaqiyaujunik Andre Larrabee tusaqsimayu tamakku uqausiaqattaqsi iqianginni niqutiqakkanniqartaqsimayuit tamakkuninga kiinaujunut Jordan's principle miingaartunik.
That defeats the purpose of why the government is doing it.
Gavamakkumalittauqoyanginni atungittiammata teemeileuqattaqoyingikkutta piyunneillititteqattarluta kisianiumma tamanna peqayannium
Of receiving the funding. It's fraud.
Haamlakku luqarsimayu $2.9 million kiinaujat 500 nut surusinut tuqaangatisyautaujuq martingorasuarningni Larry beuqartuni tamanna kiinauja atuinnaunerivertanginnu taangurtitsaukannitaangittu atoqtaunilluqattaqqata Tama CBC North piviqartumaanna inunnut allangajunut ammalu nunaqaqqaarsimayunut unikka liuppattunut immaqa iqqinayaartaaquma igayartut naalausuleqinnermu talavasialeqinnermullum nunaqaqqaartuvini pathways indigenous pathways taana pinasuarumayunut atuinnaujumaanna tamaani qalunni ilagayauluni uqaqatigunnersilaurakku Kevin Kablutsiaq taana pivalliajuleqinnermu aulatsisigayaujuq CBC North mi Yellowknife mi tamanna piviqarniuju mitsaanut ammalu summa Inuit unikkaaliortiit piviqarningani pinasuarunnermangaata tautukainerlavun Kevin teema uqauserigunnerviu taanna Indigenous Pathways Program kisiuttarmangaaq
Taamne la toraangaluartu makkuktunut nunaqaqqaaqqimayunut kanatami piliriikkannik qinnihoqapta aqaagu tamaat Igalaaqmat 2022 min 9 months 9 nitaqqinnik ilinniarlutik ivalliavilleriu nermik ilinniarlutik taakko First Nations Inuit amalu Métis nutoraangayo CBC min ilinnaartitauhoqmata qannoq pivalliavleriunermin naalahoqapta tautuhoqaptallu CBC kutigut pivalliavleriunik taakkuninga pileriuyukkanik qinnertugumaanna ammalu tabbani CBC mi qataurutik ubaluni ilaannikut angeqaqqimalutik aihimalutik qaqatauyatigut ahingitnik ilinnaaqatauyunik pilereqattaqarlutik ilinnaaqattaqarlutik te eileornaarmata ammalu pilerehimaliqaangata ilaannikut tabbani CBC min ilangit kayuhihoqtut pivalliavleriillereullerlutik ilangilluunit ahingitnik pilereakkannuk ukkuerutauhoqmatamanna
Kevin piyurnarnaqaqat iqqinaya saun nertamik
tamanna ila pimmariuqman nunaqaqqaaqqimayunu piluartumik takukkautsiaqaaqahoqapta taakkutiguunat pivalliayutigut naalautikut taqriautikut talaviisakkulluunni pimmariuyoq takuttaraaqaqapta uvaptiknik inuoqatiptiknik unipkaatsaartuuluarlu tallukituullarik mangaaptaap iliqquhivullu tamakkua takukkautsiarluttik ilinnaartitsitutauyuulaarma tattao kanatamiutarning tukihinerlu hoqmata ilangin amihun kituuq mangaaptaa hunna qannoq iliqquhiqaq mangaaptaa hunnallarangnik qannoq pilireaqaq mangaaptaa immaqa nunaqaqqaaqqimayut inuktigut ammalu ahingit nangmina unipka kannartuulluarpata pivaallerutillariunajaqman
qanu kayimngersaigunnaqin or Inuit makkuttuutiit ilagayaugunnerrullugit
Taman na pibala o tika kanak makuktunon. Pivikaw kanak man. Ati pivikad hakigang ata piyak kanak takta. Taman na CBC mi piliriyo yun ni okaw hiptik ni pibala o tawag man ilik ko hiptik ni ikayo ko taw yun lo misyon ni makuklung at taw piliriya lak mga ma CBC mi okaw himno ikayo vala o titla kayo lak himakman uvam nun uglumi huli aturap ko taman na inuktitut okangnak amalo unip kakangnak pibala o titla kayo amalo ilin niya bigi lak himak ni kutaw piliriyo namin ahingit ni angina kanug ukwero daw himak ni mataw magkutut de elok pada tabapivale o daw larigayak niyo.
Ano pinaswaro mo pigaswaro nakat amalo hanga kinlika ka.
August 12 mi taman na ukwaro katarik matuvilik uktorwak tunon imaka CBC munlunit ekalungnit kawiyak tu rakot okaluglutiglunit ubalunit kakitawitigot CBC jobs kanarlugo takwa naniyaw yulaktud tijarlugo indigenous pathways kaplunat.
Nakami Kevin ilagay ka na kung magavipi bikato timana.
Kayok tu ilagay po nga ilangit kang muhuk tu yahok mata bibale liriyugya kak ubaluni ako kautlutik ikayok tuktaw tiyalarang na miyon tahok tuktaw lutik ug tumerlu kihene kawin naktok kanok piyo lok mga apta ug tuktaritsi.
Te maigalanok kavitsangatik kittareerevok. Takutsauni alarmi Northbeat takopiyo misarosiyo takutsaulortidlaguit nakomi tautoqataaqsi nakomi David Gunn uvanga Eva Michael. Ai permeutilaarivugup pinasoorasiununguane qanuiqunangittuuguluaq tabbausi.
Moments that are so on trend right now. Ticket pricing, artificial intelligence, being a Swiftie, wild fashion trends, showbiz, and cancel culture. Join me, Alameen Abdul Mahmood, for Commotion, available now on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcast.
Q with Tom Power, available now on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
When we see Maggie McNeil, she's an Olympic gold medalist gliding through the pool. What we don't see is a person who refuses to let anxiety keep her from the starting block. When we see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the man's unstoppable. What we don't see is a skinny kid who got cut from his high school team. We don't see Maud Sharon being forced to change weight classes after she won Olympic gold. Ellie Black hearing she's just too old to compete as she prepares for her 4th Olympic Games. Or Andre DeGrasse dealing with all the doubters, including himself. What we don't see makes these athletes who they are. What we don't see makes us all who we are. We're all bravely facing the odds in our lives, and our bravery is our victory.
Inuktitut ataw siologo o hausirtaqangittoq sananermut. Uqarpattugut itertugartoq atulaurtumit atuqunniartumut. Anaanatsiama annaumanasuarnermi ilinniartisimajaanga. Niqutiqaqaangalarsimayugunerumiagarni miqsugarnillu. Maannali sanauqakka takojiqaqarvinniipalirtut namituinna. Kisiani titertugarsimajalimaakka tuqaangatillugit ilajaanni. Qitungakka ilinniaqiaqasilarsimammata. Teemeemmanuttilarsimajugut kingarlut.
Angakuangiqqalaaqita.
Tamanna inuusiqilarsimangitatinni inuusiqalirfalliagutikisimajaput. Quviasuttungalu ukpiujunga. Qaumagijawvunga quviasunnermut. Ammalu taarnesertunga. Quviasuttuq uppi.
Pigiartittigianga qatiminiulluni kingeittisertugarnermut kuapakkungani qinnuajuaq aasiva qaujijautittivoq Inuit titertuganginnik nunartualimaamut.
Good evening. Welcome to Northbeat. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin with a developing story this afternoon in the Northwest Territories. RCMP and Igalaaq are looking for a young boy who's been missing since early yesterday morning. They're asking for the public's help finding 11-year-old Jonas Klingenberg. He's described as 4 feet tall and 52 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. Jonas was wearing gray one-piece pajamas and black and red shoes. CBC spoke with the local search and rescue crew. They say Coast Guard vessels, scuba divers, and volunteers are all involved in the search. RCMP want anyone with information to call them at the number on your screen. We have an update now on a story we brought you earlier this summer. In July, the College of Northern Canada had its grand opening in Yellowknife. The unaccredited college was advertising that a number of Indigenous leaders were advisors, but as Luke Carroll reports, some of those leaders say they aren't associated with the college.
Stephen Nita, a former negotiator for Letzelke, and Danny Godet, the chief of Delaney, say they remember talking about the college years ago, but they haven't heard anything since and aren't involved with it. CBC News reached out to the College in Northern Canada to ask why their photos were on their website. No one responded, but the following day the photos of Nita and Godet were gone. Those weren't the only photos that were changed. In a section on the website that describes the Northwest Territories, a photo of what appeared to be a mountainous Scandinavian fjord was the lead image. This was also changed when CBC News noted it to the college. The college takes international students. It's run out of an accounting firm's office in downtown Yellowknife. Dale McCartney is a professor at the University of Fraser Valley in BC. His expertise is in international education. McCartney says he doesn't know much, if anything, about this specific college, but speaking with CBC News generally about private education, he says it can be a bit of a red flag if a college doesn't have a proper campus.
Another thing a student could look at, I think a really important one, but a very hard one to look at, is the physical space that the school is in. So if you're in India, being able to figure this out is really challenging.
Now, while we previously didn't know the cost for attending the College of Northern Canada, it recently posted its cost for its logistics course on its website. Luke Carroll, CBC News, Yellowknife.
There's a new strategy to help the Peary caribou herd recover. It was released this week by the Northwest Territories government. There's an estimated 7,800 adult Peary caribou in the territory. The species has been listed as threatened in the NWT since 2014. The territory's Conference of Management Authorities manages species at risk. Its chair says Peary caribou numbers declined steeply from the 1960s to the 1990s. Now, they have increased slowly over the past 20 years, but they're still far below historic levels. The recovery strategy says the biggest risk to Peary caribou right now is climate change. The next step in implementing the plan comes soon. The Wildlife Management Advisory Council of the NWT and the GNWT have until April of next year to figure out how they will put this strategy into place. The NWT's sole cannabis producer wants changes to the territory's legislation. Right now, anyone looking to sell cannabis legally in the territory has to go through the Northwest Territories Liquor and Cannabis Commission. The organization sources all cannabis products you see on store shelves. The GNWT says this model is meant to ensure residents have safe access to cannabis products. But Boreal Cultivation says it's just more red tape, and it wants to sell its products directly to consumers, similar to going to a winery and buying a bottle of wine. Damian Healy explains the differences he sees between alcohol and cannabis in the NWT.
I think cannabis is, although it's been illegal since 2018, it's kind of new. There's still some hesitancy among governments of how to handle it, what to do with it. I don't think the government's realized the potential of a second diversified economy from cannabis, tourism, sales, from the actual export of cannabis. Like Boreal Cultivation is exporting our product to Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Yukon, Nunavut, obviously NWT, and I don't think there's a lot of export potential besides maybe bullock salad dressing in the Northwest Territories. So to recognize the export potential of cannabis to other provinces actually puts NWT on the map.
The Northwest Territories Liquor and Cannabis Commission says it is not considering changes that would allow people to buy cannabis directly from a producer. A survey is underway to help collect data on the health of Inuit. Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated is administering the National Inuit Health Survey. The goal is to collect health information specific to Inuit across Canada.
I know often we hear about research fatigue. I'm really hoping that if Inuit listening on the radio hear about this, that they're aware that this is Inuit-led, that it is Inuit-designed, and that we're hoping to get this information to help us advocate properly to get the health needs addressed.
Kutyuk says the survey will show how different regions in Nunavut compare to the rest of the country. The goal is to help develop policies that improve well-being among Inuit in Canada. Survey participants will be chosen at random from the NTI enrollment list. A Yukon man is on a mission to get people talking about mental health, substance use, and suicide. Terrence Bike is traveling across the Yukon, mostly on foot, with supporters joining him along the way, both in person and virtually. This week, he was greeted by the Taku River Tlingit. The CBC's Asad Chishti was there.
One Step, One Day is a tribute to Terrence Bike's brother, Ian. He died by suicide earlier this year. So far, Bike and the walkers who've joined him have covered ground from Mayo to Faro to Ross River and Watson Lake. Organizers say momentum has been building after each community they visit. Guesty Tees, a family member of Ian and Terrence, has been walking from the start.
Being able to have this intentional time, it's been humbling.
Wayne Carlick is a Taku River Tlingit citizen who's well known for his cultural knowledge. He says this project is deeply personal for him and his community.
See them reaching out to try and do something like this and try to help the communities to come together to focus on mental health, to focus on addictions, and to focus on ways of helping and healing them is absolutely incredible. And I think that it's definitely needed in our communities. And so, yeah, I'm really glad to have that they came here.
The group is set to arrive in Whitehorse later today. They aim to finish the walk by mid-August. One step on a long road to raising awareness and encouraging people to talk, seek support, and share their stories. Asad Chishti, CBC News, Whitehorse.
It was a day of intense competition at Paris 2024 yesterday at the women's all-around gymnastics final. The Olympic action might be pretty far away from the Yukon, but watching the events unfold is inspiring young gymnasts in the territory. Tori Fitzpatrick has that story.
At the Polarettes Gymnastics Club, a group of 6 girls crowds around coach Bianca Berko Malvasio's laptop. On the screen, the world's top gymnasts are competing for the Olympic women's all-around title.
Full twisting, double back. No problem there.
Berko Malvasio says watching women compete at this level is a rare opportunity for these girls.
They see like the power and people expressing themselves in different ways, and there's lots of different floor routines and people are using new skills, and there's so much diversity like on the competition field. Yes, they all are beautiful in their gymnastic suits, but they all have a different style, and it shows these guys that they can kind of represent themselves how they want to.
The girls have already spent years training with the Polarettes. They dream of competing at the national, collegiate, and Olympic level one day. Genevieve Lefebvre and Elena Mortimer say Olympic athletes are an inspiration when they succeed, and even more so when they fail.
Good, Genevieve, yes!
Just seeing their determination and like their persistence to always get better, and it's also like really cool to see they make mistakes and they're not perfect, and just like the rest of us.
It's just like really cool to see that they're just not like gymnasts and they're like actual people too.
The Polarettes will be moving into a new facility in 2025. Berko Malvasio says it will provide more opportunities for the Yukon's next generation of gymnasts. Tori Fitzpatrick, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Nunavut is also pretty far away from Paris, France, but the territory's flag has been proudly waving there this week. Clyde River's Jesse Dietz is cheering on Team Canada at the Olympic Games. Dietz has been living in Clyde River for 2.5 years now. He says the Nunavut flag is getting noticed in France.
Yeah, I did have a lot of Parisians asking about, what country are you from? What country is that? What country is that?
Dietz says it's nice to have a piece of home along for his Olympic ride. So far, he's had the chance to watch a number of events, including Team Canada's silver medal swim. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, you can always go to our website, cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. We will see you back here on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
Particular skill set can be helpful to us.
She's a con artist.
Instead of using your talents for crime, you'll be playing on our team.
I'm a cop.
You're not a cop. You have a badge?
Not yet.
A gun?
Soon.
Not ever.
I need to get off that boat and back to being a full-time detective, and you need to stay out of prison. The best way we do that is to keep our heads down and do as we're told.
90,000.
90,000.
The department will cover it, right?
No, they won't.
I was a grade 9.
Mr. Critch, you need glasses. Glasses? No, I just think the chalk is just a little soft.
One of these days, we're gonna have to grow up. But today is not that day.
I don't want us to get older either.
Son of a Critch. Watch free on CBC Gem.
We're not gonna be here forever, right? Makes me want to make some changes, maybe a big one.
Your family can't take much more.
Anyone in your life know you're doing that?
Never really a good time to stir the pot.
I did not know what my future would look like.
The industry wasn't set up for me to thrive in.
I didn't realize how formative 25 to 30 would be.
I was so excited when they said I got to do an interview with you.
Q with Tom Power. Available now on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
So you want to watch CBC News Explore, a new kind of news channel. Here's how to find us. We're on the CBC News app, on CBC Gem, and on your smart TV. Stream anytime. It's always free. CBC News Explore.
People dream of seeing the world, but I'm here to eat it. I genuinely love you. I'm here to show you the 12 dishes that define the sea. Caribou. Merci.
We are calling it iPhone.
Why would anybody want a phone without a keyboard?